everybody by now has heard that Monique wants to boycott Netflix because she wants equal pay. And Monique and her husband, Sidney Hicks, are on the phone. What's up, Sidney and Monique? How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
What's happening?
Say good morning to Guy Tori.
Hey, Guy Tori.
What up, Momo?
How about I can't say hey, Guy Tori without smiling?
I appreciate that.
Sybil.
Good morning, Monique. Hey, Sidney. How are you all?
Good morning. Doing super.
All right, Guy, you're first.
So, the whole thing, I mean, I understand you knowing your worth, and I think that's very, very, important to say and know your worth. And I also say know where you are. Do you think the reason why they may have come back at you or lowballed you because maybe you've been out of the game for a minute and now coming back they want to see your work? Because I heard they wanted you to audition or do a set to see what your set was. 'Cause from what I understand, Amy Schumer's set, they paid her a lot of money and it didn't reach the level that they thought it would reach. So you think they were trying to do that with you?
Well, let me ask you something, Guy, because you make a good point. When you say out of the game, what do you mean out of the game?
Just that you stopped doing stand up for a minute and then you started coming back. That's what I mean. We're not completely out of the game, but you were off the scene for a minute. You weren't doing clubs and shows, and then you made a comeback, which we were all happy to see because we need more black funny stand up women. So we was happy to see you come back.
Well,
so that's what I meant by out
here's
of the
where
game.
it gets funny. I never left.
Okay.
See, when I was doing the Monique show, we were doing the tour, Spread the Love tour. Remember?
Right.
We were doing the big theaters. So I never stopped doing stand-up. So it makes me laugh when I'm hearing you say, I hear Tony Rock say, she left the game. It's like if you go back through my record, I've never stopped doing stand-up.
Okay.
See, you and I have been on the same bills at the Improv. I came in 2 weeks after or 2 weeks before. That's been going on for years, Guy.
Right. Right.
So
I guess I mean out of the public eye.
Well, when you say out the public eye, we're stand-up, Guy.
That's true.
We're stand-up comics. And see, here's again where when my comedic brothers and sisters say, Monique, you've been gone for a while. It's like, guys, well, what is it that we do? Well, we're stand-ups. So now it's, oh, well, you've been out the public eye. Well, do we remember in 2016? Because what's this year?
2018.
And it's January, right?
Yeah.
So we just got to it. Now, in 2016, do you remember a film called Almost Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's unfortunate that with us, if we don't work and work and work and work and work, you're out the public eye.
Right.
So when someone says, well, what have you done lately when you black, but when you white, you're only as good as your last project. So why is it different for me?
Sib?
Monique, I would.
Well, wait a minute, Sybil.
I'm sorry.
Because me and Guy asked me a question. So me and Guy's having this conversation right now, and I appreciate it, baby. But I'm asking my brother Guy, why is it different for me?
Because, of course you're black. It's different. It's two Americas. Everybody knows that. It's definitely two Americas.
Everybody knows that, baby. When you say, Monique, you've been out the game, you my comedic brother.
Right.
And for years, I'm not talking about last year, year before, for years, I'm going to say easily the last 6, you and I have been bypassing each other in these comedy clubs around this country. We've been bypassing each other in these theaters around this country. So when my brothers put out false statements, because you do what I do.
Right.
And then you say, well, of course it's two Americas, so why y'all trying to play me like it's one?
And I guess out of the game, because I've heard that about myself too. I tour about 45 weekends a year. So we're really not out the game, but to Hollywood, if they don't see us, then we're out of the game for a while. And they don't know what we're doing, because if you're not in L.A. going on these stages and showcasing yourself, they feel like you're not doing stand-up.
So you're in a position, baby, because you sit there with Tom Joyner.
Well, yeah,
so now that once it's explained, now you agree with me and say, well, I do 45 weeks out the year, which means you are in the public eye, because who's in front of you?
You're
the public. But we've been told, well, if it's not TV, you're not valued. Guy, you know better than that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I say that humbly, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate that, brother. I'm sorry, Sybil.
I would just like to ask quickly, a lot of conversation between you and others on social media, and our friend John Murray was on Facebook Live the other day, and he reported that you were actually offered $3 million from Netflix under the condition that you audition in front of those network execs that Guy referenced, but that you refused. Can you verify that or not, or give us the real skinny on that?
Let me give you the real skinny, being that myself and Attorney Anderson were actually talking to Robbie Praw over at Netflix. No. No one would promise you what they're going to give you prior to, based upon the condition of what you've done. In conjunction with that, she got a standing ovation on both nights, which is par of the course. So, I would be interested to know how John Murray knows a deal better than we do when there were only 4 people in that conversation, which would be Robbie Praw, his legal Jamal, Ricky Anderson, and myself. And, so to answer your question, no.
Was there any amount that was higher than the $500,000 that you have told us about?
Well, Sybil, if there were, what we're saying to people, prove us wrong and show the email. The only thing that was offered was $500,000, and then they came back, which we have the email, and said, once we got together as a team, we're going to stay where we are with the number. So now we have those emails. But if John Murray, if Netflix, or maybe John Doe has an email that says, no, we offered Monique $3 million.
I've called home. Talk about their personal experience and views regarding gender bias in the industry. And we're going to the phones this morning. On the phone right now is Miles. Miles, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Miles, you're on with Monique and Sidney Hicks.
Good morning, Monique. As a fan, looking on from the outside, not knowing the industry, every time that something seems not to go your way, it seems like you want to protest about it. And trying to understand, how do you think the companies and entertainers feel trying to work with you with that?
Well, that's a great question. And when you say something doesn't go my way, what specifically have you heard me protesting about that something didn't go my way, so I can address it?
Well, so like last year, there was comments made in the media, because like I said, I'm on outside looking in, about you talking about Tyler Perry and Oprah. And now that Netflix is offering you a certain amount of money, I mean, it's like me and my job. They offer me a certain amount of money. I'm either going to take it or go somewhere else and get a job.
Right. That's understandable, Miles. But however, when they offer us a certain amount of money and we know that it's an unfair amount and we keep just moving on, they keep on just making those offers. So I understand how you would do it. But if you ask yourself, how many times have they offered you a low offer compared to your white counterparts on your job? Do you say, well, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to move on? Is that what you do?
No, I just got an offer last night to double what I make now at another job, and I still have to consider it and, make adjustments and find out if it's legit. I have to vet everything. But, no, I just
right,
move on, but I don't do that on every job. Some jobs have done that.
So my question to you is, brother, when they make you an offer that is not fair, and you know that your white counterparts have been offered more, do you speak up about it, or do you simply move on?
Well, it depends on the situation. I may do both.
So, if I may, to your point, you heard about there was a time in history that black people were considered 3/5 of a human being, correct?
Say that again? I didn't understand.
You heard that there was a time in history that existed that black people were considered to be 3/5 of a human being, correct?
Yeah, it's in the Constitution.
Okay. What if on your job you found out that based upon the numeric value in which you were getting paid and your tenure there, that you were considered 3/5 of a human being? Would you think that that was something worthy of protesting?
I think it would, and to go a little deeper in that, that's one of the reasons I'm a union guy, so that everybody is paid the same across the board.
So listen to what you're saying. Your union allows you to have a scale wage. The union allows one to have a scale wage, but this environment that we're in is not specific to that, whereby you might have a wage you cannot go under. But my point to you was, if you found out that you were looked at as 3/5 of a human being on your job, if that was worthy of protest, and I believe you answered yes. To put things in perspective for you, Monique, as a woman who is the most decorated comedian of color, and period, with 55 awards, 29 nominations, and 28 years in this game, was referred to as being a legend by Robbie Praw, the man who made us the offer. Amy Schumer was paid $13 million. What that means is this. For $500,000, it would take 26 Moniques to be worth one Amy Schumer. If 3/5 of being looked at as 3/5 of a human being would bother you, how would you feel being looked at as 1/26 of a human being? So that means that earlier someone made the comment regarding John Mary saying Monique was offered $3 million. Our sister Wanda Sykes was offered $250,000. Monique was offered $500,000. Let's round it up. I dare anyone argue with me that 5 of the most poignant and relevant women in comedy today of color would be Monique, Samora, Adele, Miss Laura, Wanda Sykes, Cheryl Underwood. Name me 5 that are more.
All right.
6 that are more than that.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to as many calls as I can, Sidney.
I just want to say this. I understand, but I want to make this point. If you take all 6 of those women at $500,000, that is the $3 million that John Mary said that Monique was offered that was not. And you're telling me 6 of our icons are worth far less than Amy Schumer, who is not considered, by her own words, an icon? If you're not outraged, then you're not alive.
Okay. Let's go to Derisa. Derisa, are you there?
I'm here.
Good morning. All right. You're on the air.
Hey, Teresa.
Hey, love bud. Got a question. This shouldn't
Come on,
take
baby.
long at all. This shouldn't take long. I got a quick question. My question to you, Monique, I like you. But my question to you is 80% of the people that I work with, we say the same thing. Why should broke people care about rich people's financial problems?
Oh, baby. Let me have.
I just want to know, why should we care about rich people problems, financial problems, when we ain't making nothing? We get Netflix give us 30 days free. We looking at Monique ain't gave us nothing. Oh. But
let me have it answered for you, but I want to have Sidney answer it because I think you'll understand his way a little better than mine. Let me have him answer it for you, baby.
I appreciate you asking.
I'm really trying to understand Monique's way.
What? Let me tell you my way. If 80% of the people on your job is saying, check this out, why would poor people care about rich people's problem? See, this has nothing to do with poor and rich. This has everything to do with equality. Equality. So if on your job, 80% of y'all are being mistreated, is that what I'm hearing from you?
I'm sorry, we lost Dorisa, but because
See,
our time is
what
short.
happens is if we're still live and we're still on the air, we're getting caught up in rich people problem and poor people problem. This is called an equality problem, and we're acting like it's brand new. So if we keep standing saying we need equality, just so happens when people in our community hear the number $500,000 and they're saying, Monique, are you crazy? Why didn't you just take that money? But people are disregarding that our sister Amy Schumer was offered $11 million. She then went back and said, I should not get what the legends are getting. However, because I am a woman in the game, I should get more. Now, what should be outraged amongst us is we got behind Amy Schumer. People rallied behind Amy Schumer and said, yes, pay this woman more money.
But
and
Monique,
she said,
let me just ask
yes,
you this.
baby.
Let me just ask you this. Why do you think people are not supporting you, though?
Well, here's what I'll say, and that's unfair to the people that are.
Okay.
Because there are a whole lot of people saying, sister, we stand with you.
Okay.
And if you go back in history, Sybil, tell me about all the support Harriet Tubman had. If you go back in history, tell me about all the support that Fannie Lou Hamer had. If you go back in history, tell me about all the support that Eartha Kitt had.
Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. Tell me about all the support they had so I understand it, because we've been so conditioned to believe we're supposed to get less that when someone says, hey, guys, this isn't fair, and then you say, well, why don't you think people are supporting you? Because when you think about what Harriet Tubman said, she said, I told people I could get them the freedom. And they told me, never mind, we're going to stay.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Monique, I
And Tom,
appreciate
I
you
hope
reaching
give us
out
the
and coming on the show.
opportunity
You
over
and
these
Sidney
emails, brother.
and talking about it. We out of time, but I appreciate it, and good luck. I support you. Always have, always will.